Hey, welcome back to Shenanigans. It feels like it's been forever. Do you know what we do on this podcast? We talk about life and everything that comes along with it. I'm Tay. Shenanigans. The podcast starts now. Hey, so what's up, everyone? I'm Tay. As you may notice as I'm speaking, B Wills is not here today. No. He has not quit the podcast. He's actually just sick with COVID and has been for the past week. He's on the mend. So I actually just wanted to come on and do a quick podcast, as that is what I promised. I put it up on Facebook and on Instagram and said that we would have something for you guys this weekend, because I've actually also been out on PTO for the past 2 weeks. So when I go out on PTO, I completely shut down. So I really wasn't doing much of anything. And usually the summer vacation is the vacation where, I plan something big. I usually take my son somewhere on a trip, but this summer vacation, I was doing nothing. I was getting the yard work done that I haven't had the opportunity to do while I'm working. I was getting as many naps in as possible because work life is stressful. So I was trying to take it easy. And also this summer is the summer of savings, as next year I'm hoping that's when I'll be able to, take the big trip, take my son. He wants to go and do the whole Disney thing and all the different parks. I mean, I've been Disneyed out because of my first son. I had a timeshare in Orlando, so we used to go to Disney like every other year. But my youngest hasn't really had the opportunity to do all the Disney parks, so kind of stashing away for that, and hopefully we'll be able to do that next summer. So again, this summer was the summer of relaxation. 2 weeks off, so I just had a lot of downtime, and we didn't record the podcast. And this week, when we were talking about, trying to plan and when we were going to be able to get together and record the podcast again, like I said, B Wills came down with COVID, and it kind of knocked him out. He kind of got punched in the face real hard by COVID. So all the symptoms, I guess, all of them that you could possibly get: nausea, lightheadedness, sweats, all the stuff. So he was kind of down and out. But like I said, hey, this podcast is a partnership. So I'm kind of driving the bus this week. It will not be too long. But like I said, just want to jump on and say hi to everyone. As always, thanks to everyone for the support. The views are steadily going up every week, and I just really appreciate it. We're a new podcast, and we're just trying to get our legs under us and get a feel for everything, and hopefully bring you guys good content. Hopefully talk about things that are of interest to you all, and hopefully keep you coming back. So we are on episode 7. I am going to hit a few of the topics that we have come up with over the past 6 episodes. So I am going to do quote of the week. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about something new, a new recipe that I tried out, which is really delicious. So Shenanigans, the podcast lives. But quote of the week. This is something that spoke to me this week. It was a conversation I was having with a friend of mine. But this is a quote from a book that I'm reading by a gentleman by the name of Humble the Poet. The name of his book that I'm reading is How to Be Loved. Oftentimes people try to figure out what they can do and how they can better themselves to be more lovable, or so that someone will love them. But this book is really going into how to be love, how to be a person that shows love, how to be a person that puts love out there in the world. And I'm just at the beginning of the book, but it's really, really great. He starts off with talking about how he had to make the difficult decision to end a relationship with someone that he really loved, someone that was really, a great person, but he was not in the headspace to be who he was supposed to be for her. So he made the decision to end the relationship. And this is, like I said, a quote that came out of the book as I was reading it. The quote is, "Our hearts aren't perfect, and the games we play around love aren't fun." And how true that is. None of us are perfect, right? We're all just trying to survive every day. This world is getting crazier and crazier. But in particular, when it comes to relationships and love and finding love, a lot of people still play games, which is just mind-boggling to me. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine this week, and we were just talking about the state of the dating pool these days. You see memes out there, and you hear people say it often, like the dating pool has quite a bit of pee in it. And it just seems that way. It just seems like no one is genuine. It seems that everyone is just selfish and is wondering what the other person is bringing to the table instead of taking an inward look at themselves and really trying to see what they can bring to the table and how they can be a better person and how they can contribute to the relationship. Games aren't fun, and it really doesn't benefit anyone, least of not the relationship. So I really love this quote that came out of this book. Again, the quote is, "Our hearts aren't perfect, and the games we play around love aren't fun." So I don't know. Take that for whatever you want to take it for. But if you are out there in the dating pool, if you're looking for someone, maybe take an inner look and see, how you can be the best person you can be, how you can show up as the best of you. And if the person is not reciprocating, if the person is not, I hate to use this phrase because I really hate it, matching energy, but if the person is not putting in as much as you're putting in, that tells you what you need to do. But try your best not to play games. Be honest. Be the person that you are. Show up as you. And hopefully there will be no egos involved, because that's another big thing. When people are trying to go through the whole dating process, and as you get closer and as you learn more about each other, sometimes egos come into play. Sometimes maybe you might hurt the other person's feelings. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that maybe you messed up, and there's nothing wrong with apologizing and taking your part of the blame in the situation for the betterment of the relationship. And some people really don't know how to do that. Some people have a hard time apologizing. Some people have a hard time admitting their faults. But do all you can to bring your best self to the relationship if you're out there looking. And hey, go out there and pick up this book. I love reading, and I'm very excited to get deeper into this book. Again, the name of the book is How to Be Loved, and it's actually love, but the D is inside of parentheses. So it's a very interesting read so far. So that's the quote of the week. I already mentioned YB Wills is not on this week. He has COVID, so hopefully he's feeling a little bit better. I told him to push the fluids. Hopefully he'll be back on the ones and twos next week. Tomorrow, Monday, starts my day back to work, so I'm a little bit stressed out about that. My work is very, very stressful. It's fast-paced. It's a lot of multitasking. So having 2 weeks off, have you ever taken a vacation and then as you're getting ready to go back to work, you're really like contemplating your entire life? Like, what am I really doing? There's got to be something else. That is how I feel often when my vacation is over and I have to go back to work. You know what? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get there one day. I cannot complain, though. It is not lost on me that I do have a good job. It provides everything that I need it to provide. I'm able to keep my home and have a roof over my head and provide for my kids and all that good stuff. So that is not lost on me. However, it is very stressful. But I'm back tomorrow, back in the driver's seat, and it is what it is. But like I said, this is not going to be a long pod this week, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up with something new. So as I was scrolling through Instagram, I think it was this week, I came across a really interesting recipe, and it was for lasagna soup. So I make a pretty good lasagna, and I was like, I love soup. So this kind of piqued my interest, and it came out really, really delicious. So I'm just going to give you the ingredients really quickly. Maybe you can Google it and see if you can find it out there. But you take some spaghetti sauce, whatever type you like, or if you like to make your own, however you want to do it, spice it up. So you take some spaghetti sauce, about a jar and a half, and you take some chicken broth, about 34 ounces, I believe the recipe called for, maybe 48. But then you also put in some ground beef, was what the recipe called for. I used ground turkey. I prefer ground turkey. It's less greasy. It makes my sauce less greasy, and you can't really tell the difference. So I used ground turkey. The recipe also called for Italian sausage. I prefer sweet sausage, so that's what I put in it. Of course, like I said, spiced it up a little bit. Garlic powder, onion powder, some parsley, oregano, Italian seasoning, all that good stuff. I put in a couple of spoons of brown sugar. And then you put all of that, right, after you brown the meat, you put it in a big sauce pot with the pasta sauce, with the chicken broth, all your seasonings, a little bit of sugar, and then you break up some toward the end as the sauce and the soup has already had a chance to cook down a little bit and have all the ingredients cook into itself. Toward the end, you take about 7 to 10 lasagna noodles and break them up and put them into the soup, and then let that simmer for a little while. When I tell you guys, this came out so great. Oh, also one ingredient I forgot. You put in about a half a cup of heavy cream into the soup. When I tell you that this was so delicious, I mean it. I'm going to make it, I don't want to say quite often, but I'm going to make it often enough. One thing I did learn, the recipe, like I said, called for 7 to 10 lasagna noodles. I'm going to cut that down. It was too noodly for me. I would prefer it to be a little more soupy and not have as many noodles. So I'm going to cut down on the noodles a little bit. But then also the recipe called for you taking a cup of ricotta cheese and a half a cup of shredded mozzarella, mixing that together and just keeping that in the fridge. As you get your bowls of soup, you take a scoop of that mixture and put it in the soup. And that's my something new for this week, the lasagna soup. So go out there, try to Google the recipe, take a look, check it out. If you like lasagna, if it sounds like something that you would like to try, go out there and check it out and make yourself some lasagna soup. So I think that's going to wrap up this podcast for this week. I wanted to keep it short, and I just wanted to come on and say hey to everyone. And hopefully we will be back as Tay and B Wills, giving you guys a new topic, new man versus woman topics of the week, all the things that we came up with in the past few weeks. So as I sign off, I want to say thank you again to everyone for supporting. Thank you to everyone for listening. And I will catch you next week. Talk to you guys later.